little rundown on my history for some of the people that don't know. I started breaking in 1982 here in Seattle. I was born and raised here in Seattle. My first crew that I got down with was the Grandmaster Breakers. I was 12 years old. There was a lot of crews that were coming out at the time. That's when breaking was really just coming all over the nation. You know, when you could see it on TV, and everyone in your school and everywhere else just started getting together in the neighborhoods and starting crews. And then everyone in Seattle would have happened to go downtown to the Seattle Center, or go downtown to Pike and 3rd and Pike, McDonald's, and just hang out and battle each other. And that's where the Raw Essence really started here in Seattle. And it went really strong for probably about 4 or 5 years until like 86, 87. And that's really when a lot of stuff started changing. A lot of cats started getting into gangbanging, selling crack, a lot of the more negative things. So a lot of the b-boys, the graph writers, the MCs, and the DJs that were getting down in the early 80s in Seattle, really a lot of them took a wrong turn, and that's why you don't really see a lot of them today, especially a lot of the poppers. There were tons of poppers here in Seattle as well, but unfortunately we don't have a lot of those brothers around to spread the knowledge. But my job is just to kind of let y'all know that we have a really rich history here in Seattle. I started breaking in '82. Icy Ice from the New York City Breakers came out here in 1986 to do a battle. He ended up staying out here for a year, and me and him trained together for a year straight. And that was my first b-boy mentor. I was breaking for years before that, but that was the first time I had a professional mentor, put me under his wing and say, okay, this is how you should do it. This is how you get down. Show me about the angles. Show me about how to, project and just telegraph and do all these different things and use my energy and build runs. And so Icy Ice was my first mentor. That's how I was able to meet Fable and a lot of the guys from the Rocksteady crew. I kept in touch with those guys through the early 90s, and they started doing a show called Jam on the Roof, which Remind was a member of. I was a member of as well, but we were on the same cast as well at the same time. To make a long story short, Jam on the Roof came to Seattle in the early 90s, and it was 93 or something, 94, and I ended up jumping on, and I moved out to New York in 96, 97, just some shows out there, got on with Jam on the Groove. Eventually battled to get in with Rocksteady. I was already doing a lot of shows with Fable with a group called Get Originals, and then another group called Physics. So I was getting down with a lot of New York heads, and at that time I actually had met Little Left from the New York City Breakers when I first moved out there in 96, 97, and he was a brother that I first saw get down and dance and really be able to transcend his spirit onto you. He would just close his eyes and get down and just move and rock. And the first time I seen him get down, I was like, damn, that's how I want to feel. That's how I want to get down. So he was actually my second mentor, and he put me on to just dancing and rocking and doing a lot of hand tags and pulling out a lot of the weapons. You see me pulling out that guns blazing style that came from Little Left. That's an old Bronx rocking style. And the name Guns Blazing, that's an AKA I use. And actually, that was given to me by Ken Swift. I was about to enter a battle, and I asked Kenny, we were training together at the time, I said, do you have any advice? What should I do? He said, just do you, just go all out, guns blazing. And I was like, that just kind of fit, because I was already, on that, all out, pulling out guns and, trying to just blast off. So that's how the name kind of fit, Guns Blazing. I did my first video called Guns Blazing, and that's it. I'm back here in Seattle. I moved back from New York. I've been here for about 5 years, working with the Massive Monkeys. Backtrack, back in the early 90s, I was going to a middle school called Mercer Middle School, me and this cat, Kamikaze, and we started breaking in the middle schools, breaking in the middle schools because there was a lot of gangs going on at the time. So a lot of the Boss crew and a lot of the cats that, Crisis and all the guys, from Battle Reflex were around at the time as well. But they had older brothers that were gangbanging, and these cats, they were like 12, 13 years old, with younger brothers and sisters. And so we wanted to bring something positive to them, so we wouldn't see them going in that direction. We started going to Mercer Middle School. From Mercer that's when everyone from, you know, all over the city just started coming. That was our mecca. You know, you would go to Jefferson and that's how you would get noticed. That's how you would build. That's where the Massive Monkeys came from. And so, you know, this is a deep history here in Seattle, man. I'm really proud just to be here, to see how much it's grown. And just going back to what Ramon said, you know, a contest is a contest. You know, it's our judgment and, you know, how we see the dance and perceive it. And to be honest with you, I'm going to be judging how you dance, how you flow, your drops, how you go into your flows, your footwork, your extensions, your freezes, how you do all that on beat, if you're hitting blow-ups, if you're coming out with aggression, all that shit. And at the same time, I'm registering that while the next cat is already coming out with his first top drop. You know what I mean? So our job as a judge, it's not really easy to do what we do and just see some. I mean, you know, you can all go back to YouTube later on tonight and check it out and watch it 500 times, and that's cool. And see, you know, where, oh yeah, you know, that's bullshit. But you know, if you're up here, you gotta go 1, 2, 3. You know what I mean? It's not really that easy. So you know, you gotta just take it as you're here to represent. You're here to represent you. Put out your energy, your spirit. Let us feel that. Let everybody else feel that. And then, you know, everyone should know who's gonna come out on top.